Hi, Michael. I think when we were seeing you for the pre-match, we thought this contract thing would have been sorted out once and for all. So, for the millionth time, can you tell us where we're at with things?
Yeah, it was said at the end of the season pretty much, wasn't it? So we're not far away. A couple of days away. So yeah, I said to you the day about clarity is pretty much round the corner, and it is going to be now. But at this stage, I can't really give you any more.
This isn't directly related to Manchester United, obviously, but as a former Middlesbrough manager, you'll be paying as close attention as anyone to the bigger story in football right now. What have you made of Spygate, the situation, and the outcome?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not close enough to it to understand all the details, to be honest with you. So the only thing I can say, I mean, it's unfortunate for a lot of people, and you know, a lot of people were involved in all the football clubs that have ended up being involved in whole Southampton and Middlesbrough. So the whole situation's a little bit unfortunate. But all I can say is that I wish Middlesbrough all the best. Obviously, I've had great times there. Got a lot of friends there, and I'd love to see, especially the players, and seeing them do well. You know, they give everything for me when I was there, the ones that were there. So to see them have success and end up in the Premier League would I take a lot of pride in that.
Richie. Looking ahead to this weekend, first of all, start with the team news, if there's anything new.
No, not really, no. Pretty clear, yeah.
We all know obviously what's on the line for Brighton. They're chasing a European spot. For you and this group, what matters to Manchester United? What can you get from this game?
Yeah, well, we're certainly conscious of the situation of the game and what's at stake. I think we've certainly got a responsibility for that. You know, we've managed to put ourselves in a position where we kind of are the position that we are in the league. And I've said about we wanted to finish strong and for ourselves as much as anything. So we're approaching the game as we would any other game. You know, there's a lot to play for Brighton, for Bournemouth, for all the other clubs surrounding that. So we're well aware of that.
Michael, Casemiro obviously had his big farewell. Is he going to be included at Brighton? And also you mentioned last week about youngsters and young players. Clearly their season's now finished. So will there be an opportunity for younger players this weekend?
First of all, on Casemiro, I was kind of decided that last week would be his last game. So I think that went well, as well as we all could have hoped, to be honest. And he's been fantastic. And I've said a lot of things about Cassie and how well he's done for me since I've been here and for the whole club. But yeah, it was decided that it was a good time for him to finish, really. So I think that, again, just saying what the question that I've just had about this club's about bringing young players through and academy players and younger players, giving them opportunity. There's a real responsibility that we feel towards the game as well, and getting the balance right at certain times going into games like this. But yes, of course, it's an opportunity to depend on how the game goes to try and make the most of that, because I think it's you know, we got some really good young players that we want to try and take the next steps with, really, and give them the opportunity. So hopefully that pans out in a positive way for us.
Michael, just looking a bit further ahead, what do you think the most important factors will be to kind of build on the positive end to the season over the summer, and what do you feel it should be the priority for the club?
As I've said before, I think just keep moving forward in so many ways. You know, it's never finished. It's never the finished article. It's definitely not in terms of where we want to be as a football club. I think we're moving in a good direction. I think momentum, positivity, and improvements is always, whether that's sometimes it's staff, sometimes it's playing squad, sometimes it's new ideas, and just keep evolving as much as we possibly can as a club.
Hi, Michael. I don't know if you saw the scenes outside Arsenal when they won the league on Tuesday. I'm just wondering, as someone who's in charge at Manchester United, what you made of that, and it's 5 different clubs now that have won the league since United last won it. Is that kind of painful for this club, and is you in charge of this club to take?
First of all, I'd like to say huge congratulations to Arsenal and Mikel and the players and all the staff. I think when you win the league because you deserve it. It's so much over such a long period of time needs to be done so well in order to win it. So they've been really consistent over a number of years now, and the patience and the improvement that they've had of taking steps. I think they're at a stage now where they deserve to win it. So as a football club, of course, that's where we want to be. We've been there in the past, and it doesn't mean necessarily you will always be there again, but that's certainly as a football club what we're striving for as soon as possible, really.
Hi Michael, you're obviously going to finish third, and if you're looking above, you're looking at City and Arsenal. Have you got areas of improvement that you can see that are in your head as where you can possibly make up ground on those two teams?
There's always improvement, I think, within the squad, of course. Certain things you want to tweak, certain things that which we have done as we've progressed, really. So just because it's the end of the season, it doesn't change what we've. I said it from the start. You know, we came in to try and put things in place and improve for the longer term. So it's not just because the season's coming to an end that gets cleared up, and whatever happens, it goes in a certain direction. I think we've got a really good foundation of a squad and a good mixture of age in different stages of the career. I think we've proved that we're really dangerous and we can score goals, and which is exciting and encouraging moving forward for sure.
Hi Michael, I'm just on Casemiro. In terms of the sort of pedigree that he came into the club with, is that why sort of when you're having these discussions about his exit, that feels like the right thing in terms of an Old Trafford send off, a nice way for him to go, and also in terms of the Brighton game, gives you an indication as to what the midfield might need, given he is going to not be here next season.
It just felt the right time, I think, for Cassie to, and it was decided that he's part of that as well. So it was the right time. There is an element of a balance, like I've just said about the last game. It's not, we're not done. You know, the season's not done for us, so we're really conscious of that. So there's a real balance between trying new things, moving forward, keep evolving. There's always games that we've tried different things in that some might notice, some people might not notice others. So I think the biggest thing is that we're really conscious to respect this last game and what it stands for, and obviously try and make the best of it for us. You know, we want to go down there and put in a good performance and try and win the game.